Hey, this is Guido coming at you with a tactics talk. Recently I was streaming and I had one of my viewers ask, he said he was a 51% player and he asked, how do I get better? I'm at 51%. I feel like I'm kind of against a wall and I can't climb that wall. It's a fairly standard topic and the answer, of course, is do more damage. You know what I mean? Bottom line, do more damage. Now, there's a lot more to it. You want to win. Sometimes doing damage isn't going to get you the win. And it depends is always something you can say here. But by and large, if you're looking at the big picture, doing more damage is going to make you better. And then the question becomes, how do I do more damage? And as I was talking to him, I told him about, you got a new player, he usually rages around, YOLOs a bit, has a good time, and then realizes he's dying a lot. So what happens is naturally there's a progression of people become more and more passive, more and more careful. And they tend to not go up to the front. They tend to hide out in the back a little bit more, maybe hang behind the lead tanks. And what that does for them is it allows them to live more, but it doesn't necessarily allow them to do a whole lot more damage. Now, naturally, because they live a little longer in the game, their damage will start to creep up. But they'll come to a point, probably around that 50 to 51% place within win rate, where they realize, this is all the damage I can get. I'm careful, but I really don't feel like I'm driving the fight. I'm reacting to the fight, so in the raffle stomps, I get rolled up along with everybody else. In the wins, I'm sort of lagging behind and I'm not really getting the damage. So how do I increase my damage? And the answer is you've got to go get it, and you've got to go get it early. So I had this example of a game right here that initially I was going to call Why I'm Better, although that's kind of a cocky title. So we're just going to call this How to Get Better. All right, so we are here on, show you what I'm doing with my camera, Steeps, and I am headed over here on the west side, pretty standard. Going to go fight and brawl in the heavy brawl zone over here. You can see that we have 3 heavies on top, they have 1, so I feel like we can probably win this area over here quickly with the forces that we have, and then work to flank them by coming around this way. And hopefully we have enough to at least keep them busy and they don't just all pile on the cap. Probably a few more coming this way than I would like. And I did say right at the beginning, which you didn't see, hey, let's roll the 1-2 line and then flank them. So that really drew a lot of my team with me. But let's go back to where I was talking at the beginning about how do I get better and the fact that early damage matters. Now look where I am. I went right away for an early position where I'm going to get early damage. I'm going to start shooting more than the rest of the team. So we'll come up here. Now the question, of course, is do I YOLO in and get killed trying to do this, or am I careful? Based on what I am seeing from the setup as far as the tanks go and what I'm seeing currently based on the T-37 is up top, sort of spotting, I don't suspect they're actually pushing into these rocks very hard, and it turns out that they're not. Plus I've got a lot of backup coming. So if I YOLO out here and I don't have the backup like the T-29, the IS-6, everybody back there, all of the enemy who are going to be sitting here may figure that out and come roll me up, but I'm seeing that, right? So I see that. So I'm getting up in here in a significantly important tactical position, and I'm going to start getting damage. Of course, I'm going to bounce IS-6. Why not? And now we're going to the heat. But I'm anchoring what my team is doing right here by taking this spot and side scraping out. I'm going to find lots of targets here. So I'll just take shots of opportunity. The IS-6 knows that I fired, so he's going to come in here, maybe take a shot on me. Unfortunately, he actually gets a pen, and now I'm going to look for another shot. I'm just going to pull back here, snap that shot off. Now, not a lot of zoom on that shot, but I'm doing a couple things here. I want to minimize my exposure. I don't want to be back there too long and take a bunch of aggro from those guys. I also want to get that shot off and get forward so I can minimize the amount of exposure I have to the IS-6. So I'm willing to take that fairly low probability of kill or probability of hit shot so that I don't expose myself or overexpose myself. And because shots tend to go towards the middle on the dispersion, I probably had a pretty good chance of making that shot count. So I'll tuck up in here, put some angle on this IS-6, rock back and forth to spoil his shot a little bit, and now I'm working to come after him again. Oh, he pulls back, so let's see what we got over here. What can I do? Oh, I run into the rock. All right, so that didn't work. Hey, look, the IS-6 has come around. He's got their IS-6 busy, so I'll see if I can get a shot, and I hit space armor with heat, and that's pretty predictable. But notice as my reload timer comes to reload, I am coming out there and taking the shot, minimizing my exposure as much as possible. Once again, I'm starting to get the reload down, and now I'm going to come out and look for a shot. Because it's damage that I'm trying to do, I am constantly looking to do damage. Now, the T-34 IS-6, ARL, it took them a long time to take on that IS-6 right there. And because I anchored that corner where I did, that aggressive early spot, that kept the rest of their team honest, and our team could come around and take them out. You can see that we're in really good shape overall. They did send a pretty good force over to the cap. I'm going to actually fast forward here because I get a little salty with that T-34, who later on types in that he was mad because I allowed the IS-6 to hit him in the back. I'm not exactly sure what I was supposed to do. Anyway, looking for shots. You can see that I just blitz across. We're starting to win. We're very much in a winning position. I'm pretty sure based on what I'm looking at that there's not going to be much, if anything, poking over this little ridge here. Everything that they've got left just about is lit. So I'm going right at the hit points. There it is. You let that IS-6 shoot me. All right, so there's the arty. And again, the question, how do I get better? Damage in general is how you get better. One of the main things. And I am going for the damage. I can tell we're winning by a bunch. I'm willing to come across here as fast as possible and get to the damage. I'm sitting at 1800. Where's the rest of the team? Lagging and back behind there. Taking sniper shots. Okay, I'm pretty sure that Proto's dead. That's a judgment call, but the M46 probably had him sorted out. I'm going to dive down low here as opposed to using the bad depression on this tank. I can really minimize my exposure right here. I'm going to bounce. Bummer. Take a hit. And there's 3 tanks worth of hit points right there. Come out here. As soon as I'm reloaded, I'll go get the shot in. Pretty good armor on the tank, so I'm not too worried about getting completely pinned and destroyed. Although I do take a few hits right here. Just baiting shots while I'm waiting for my reload. There it is. Oh, a track. Well, that was a bummer. That may have been my last heat shot. I don't remember if it was. Predictable, though, if you're going to shoot tracks with heat. Something I really need to work on in my game. I wish I didn't do it as much. Get him in there, and now I'm sitting at 3,000. And there's 2 tanks left, 1 tank left. I wish, actually, I had just gone at this guy. That's going to go right over his shoulder. That's a bummer. Pushing in here. Now think about how many shots I've taken. Did I really waste much time at all with a reload? If I had a shot ready, I'll do a little wiggle right there just to kind of spoil this shot. If I had a reload in and I had a target, I was shooting at it. That is a huge part of doing damage, which sounds silly. That one goes right into the dirt. Sounds a little bit silly and obvious, but it's amazing how many people don't apply that. I'm going to get 9 hit points of ram damage. Take that, and he dies. I looked at the map. I looked at the mode. I looked at the tanks I was facing. I picked a side that I thought would be advantageous to me, and I pushed in aggressively to a forward position. As I watched it develop, I stayed at that forward position and I continued to push it. Every time I was reloaded, I took a shot. That is the crux, the basic idea of how you get good at this game. You've got to do damage, which means you've got to be aggressive, which means you've got to know when to be aggressive. Now let's take a look at the game results of this one. Alright, it turns out I don't have the results, so I'll just tell you what they are. I had about 13 shots. I think the nearest guy to me was 8 or 9 shots, and it was one of the mediums. I did 3,000 damage, which was well more than anybody else on the team. And the point of the whole video is I got out and I started taking shots. And even in a relatively slow reloading tank like the one I was driving, the WZ-111, I ended up shooting the most and doing the most damage because I put myself in the position to do so. And that really is the bottom line of how do I get better? You do more damage. You do more damage by shooting. And you do more shooting by finding advantageous positions and always firing when you're ready. So always look for that shot. I hope this helps you guys. If you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe. I also stream on occasion, so come on by if you see me up and streaming. Otherwise, we will catch you guys later. Cheers.